Dan Fouts was a 1973 third-round draft pick from Oregon, the same college that produced Hall of Fame quarterback Norm Van Brocklin. Van Brocklin passed the torch as the NFL's premier quarterback to John Unitas, who was considered to be the greatest in history at his retirement. He was sold by the Colts to the Chargers in January 1973 for a reported $150,000. Things did not go well for Unitas in San Diego. After Unitas only completed 2 of 9 passes, quarterback Wayne Clark replaced him, but he didn't complete any passes in 5 attempts. So Dan Fouts made his NFL debut, and he played the entire fourth quarter and directed the Chargers to all 21 of their points in a 38-21 loss. Dan Coryell took over as head coach in Week 5 of the 1978 season. He was a fairly intense man who, along with offensive coordinator Joe Gibbs, 1979 and 1980, helped to create a highly effective wide-open passing attack nicknamed Air Coryell. Tight end Kellen Winslow and wide receivers John Jefferson and Charlie Joyner were too much for opposing defenses to handle. In 1979, Dan Fouts passed for the most yards in a single season, 4,082. And in 1980, he obliterated that record, while also setting records for the most passing attempts and completions, as well as the most 300-yard games in a single season, 8. Fouts broke his passing yardage record by 15.6%. By comparison, a runner would have needed to break O.J. Simpson's then record of 2,003 yards by rushing for 2,313 yards. Fouts put up terrific numbers across the board. 1980 NFL MVP was Brian Sipe. He had a fantastic year as he made first-team All-Pro and led the Browns in many heroic last-minute drives. Running back Earl Campbell finished in second place and should have, won the MVP award since he rushed for the second most yards in NFL history at that time. He won the award the year before when he rushed for 237 less yards. It was the third straight season that he led the NFL in rushing yards. Third place went to Steve Bartkowski, and fourth place went to Ron Jaworski, while fifth place went to Fouts. What a joke! Fouts clearly was better than those two. In Week 10, number 77, Greg Boyd sacked Fouts, but Fouts ended up with the sixth best sack percentage in the NFL. Dan Coryell's two starting wide receivers and tight end combined for 242 receptions, 3,762 receiving yards, and 26 receiving touchdowns. The Chargers finished in first place in the AFC West Division with 11 wins and 5 losses. They scored the fourth most points in the league. Ron Smith turned this 27-yard connection into a 50-yarder with only 2 minutes, 8 seconds remaining in the game. It hardly ever rains in San Diego, but an early morning downpour softened the field and slowed down the Chargers' fastest receivers. Down 28-7 early in the second quarter, with a rushing attack that only accounted for 81 yards on the day, the Raiders effectively defensed Fouts' passing game. Although he had 336 yards and 2 touchdowns, it resulted in a 34-27 loss.